Hello dear students, hello dear aspirants, and welcome to the official channel of 24/7 Northeast. Swagatam janso kolkata 24/7 Northeast official YouTube platform lage with me Shubham Sir, your English faculty here on this platform. Today we are taking a look at the newspaper editorial article in this video, and we'll do a complete analysis in the usual three parts, that is the vocabulary section, a complete reading for the comprehension aspect of this editorial article, and then we'll take a look at the summary of the entire paragraphs of the entire passage of both the paragraphs, and I will also give you a nudge to try to write your own summary. So azir ei gutei class tut apnalokor logot moi azir newspaper article or eta important article discuss korim, analyze korim gutei article to ami tinta onkhot amar ei editorial article analysis to hoy aploke gom pai itimodhe jodi classes khini sai ahise. Prothom onkhot ami vocabulary section to sam, second ami ei gutei article to ebar pohi etu bujibo chesta korim, aru third হেখৰ অংশটোত আপোনালোকৰ লগত মই সামাৰীটো মই যোনটো সামাৰী লিখিছো হেতু দেখাম আৰু আপোনালোকক নিজেও এবাৰ সামাৰী লিখি চাবলৈ সাজেষ্ট কৰিম। So let us get started with today's session. Starting with মই সকলোকে কৈছো আপোনালোকে আৰু 24/7 এৰ এপটো যদি ডাউনলোড কৰি ইনষ্টল কৰা হোৱা নাই, app link is given in the description box below this video as per usual, and আপোনালোকে এই এপটোত আমাৰ সম্পূৰ্ণ ফ্ৰী ষ্টাডি মেটেৰিয়েল ৰিসোৰ্সৰ লাভ উঠাব পাৰিব। কাৰেণ্ট এফেয়াৰ্স, জব এলাৰ্টস ইত্যাদি বহুতো আপোনালোকে ইয়াতে ফ্ৰী ষ্টাডি মেটেৰিয়েল ৰিসোৰ্সেস अवेलेबल পাই যাব for all your state and central level government exam needs. আৰু যদি আপোনালোকে আমাৰ কোৰ্সেস জয়েন কৰিব খোজে বা মক টেষ্ট বা বুকস লব বিচাৰে, হেয়াও এই এপটোৰ মাধ্যমেৰে খুব সহজ সৰলভাৱে আপোনালোকে এক্সেস কৰিব পাৰিব, লব পাৰিব। আজিৰ যোনটো আৰ্টিকেল আছে দ্য হিন্দু নিউজপেপাৰখনৰ পৰা আমি চাই আছো আৰ্টিকেলটো, আৰু এই আৰ্টিকেলটোৰ প্ৰথম পেৰাগ্ৰাফত আমাৰ এইকেইটা ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট ৱৰ্ডছ আপোনালোকৰ লগত ডিসকাস কৰিবলৈ গৈ আছো মই। আৰু ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট ফ্ৰেজেছৰ ভিতৰত এই তিনিটা ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট ফ্ৰেজেছ ফাৰ্স্ট পেৰাগ্ৰাফত আছে। ফাৰ্স্ট পেৰাগ্ৰাফত তেনেকুৱা একো ইডিয়ম নাই which is of any import. Next, second পেৰাগ্ৰাফটো যদি কথা চাবলৈ যাও, second পেৰাগ্ৰাফত আমাৰ কেইবাটাও শব্দ আছে আৰু কেইবাটাও ফ্ৰেজেছও আছে। So the second paragraph has quite a few number of words and phrases. It has quite a few words and phrases, and it also has two important idioms that we'll take a look at. Second paragraph to duta important গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ idioms ও দেখা পোৱা গৈছে আজিৰ এই আৰ্টিকেলটোত। সো এটা এটা কৈ চাও, প্ৰথমতে words কেটা চাইলো, শব্দ কেটা চাইলো যে আজিৰ আৰ্টিকেলটোত কি important words আছে। So the first word is pessimistic. So when we talk about pessimism, we are talking about someone who is very negative, who has a very negative outlook on things, right? That person is called a pessimistic person. So the word pessimistic is an adjective, which is an adjective version of the word pessimism, which is a noun. So pessimistic বুলি ক'লে আমি নিৰাশাবাদী মানুহ এজন বুজাইছো, যাৰ আপুনি ক'ব যে নিৰাশাবাদী মানুহ এজন যাৰ যোনে কোনোটো বস্তুত বেছি আশা নাৰাখে, বেছি পজিটিভলি নাচায় কোনোটো বস্তু, pessimistic বুলি কোৱা হয়। The second word is citing. To cite something means to refer to some source or some information. When you are citing some information, that means you are referring it to from somewhere. তাৰ মানে cite কৰা হৈছে কিবা এটা information বা কিবা এটা তথ্য, তাৰ মানে হেতু এক ধৰণে আপুনি ক'ব পাৰে যে হেতু উদ্ধৃতি দিয়া হৈছে কিবা এটা বস্তু, কোনবা এটা বস্তু ৰেফাৰ কৰি কোৱা হৈছে বা উল্লেখ কৰা হৈছে। Next, slackening. When we talk about slackening, you can understand it by comparing two words, right? Loose and tight. All right. So when we talk about tightening something, we mean that the grip has been increased. Say for example, imagine you're wearing a belt. All right? You're wearing a belt to make sure that your trousers fit you well. All right? At your waist. Now, if you tighten the belt, the grip at your waist, the trouser will grip your waist better. And if you make it loose, you can say that the grip has slackened. That is, it has become loose. So you can relate the word slack with the word loose. And I hope you are all aware that there's two spellings to the word lose. L-O-S-E with the single O means you have lost something. And this is related to lost, right? And of course, the other one is L-O-O-S-E, lose, which means the word slackening. This is related to slackening. All right. So I hope you don't have any confusion regarding the spelling of these two. It's very basic. So slackening বুলি যেটা কৈছো students, আমি উল্লেখ কৰিব বিচাৰিছো এই কথাটো যে কিবা এটা বস্তু ঢিলা হৈছে, slacken হৈছে, right? তাৰ মানে ঢিলা হোৱা বুলি ক'লে slack বুলি আমি ক'ব পাৰো। SLACK slack শব্দটো ঢিলা শব্দটোৰ লগত জড়িত। slackening হৈছে বুলি যদি কৈছো কিবা এটা বস্তু, তাৰ মানে ঢিলা হৈছে বুলি বুজাইছো। ঠিক আছে? বুজি পাইছা? Next one, moderating. When you moderate something, that means you're trying to control something, or you're trying to decrease the negative effects of something. You're trying to moderate, you're trying to bring it into moderation, into a normal, you're trying to bring it to a normal level. That is the meaning of moderating. অলৰাইট তাৰ মানে মডাৰেটিং কৰা হৈছে মানে ষ্টুডেন্টস আপুনি কব বিচাৰিছে যে নিয়ন্ত্ৰণ কৰা হৈছে কিবা এটা বস্তু যোনটো বেছিয়ে বৃদ্ধি হৈ আছিল আৰু এনেকুৱা এটা বস্তু যোনটো জেনাৰেলি কিবা এটা নেগেটিভ ইম্প্যাক্ট থাকে সেই বস্তুটোক যদি আপুনি নিয়ন্ত্ৰিত কৰিব পাৰিছে হ্ৰাস কৰি আনি পেলাই হেতুক যোনটো নৰ্মেল লেভেল হেতুলৈকে আনিব পাৰিছে আপুনি হেতু বস্তু মডাৰেট কৰিছে ঠিক আছে আন্ডাৰস্টুড ক্লিয়াৰ ইয়াৰ আগতে প্ৰিভিয়াস এডিটোৰিয়েল সেশনটো আমি এটা ৱৰ্ড পাইছিলো মিডিয়েট কৰা mediating and moderating. I hope you understand the difference between these two now. Right? Mediate ketia kore duta party মাজত বা দুটা পক্ষৰ মাজত যদি কাজিয়া পেছাল হৈছে তৰ্ক বিতৰ্ক হৈছে তেতিয়া আপুনি মাজত গৈ তেওঁলোকক শান্ত কৰালে মিডিয়েট কৰা হয় ঠিক আছে আৰু মডাৰেটিং মানে আপুনি এটা পৰিস্থিতি যোনটো অলপ বেয়াৰ পিনে গৈছে হেতুক আপুনি আকৌ নিয়ন্ত্ৰিত কৰিছে হেতুক আকৌ নিয়ন্ত্ৰণত আনিছে তেতিয়া আপুনি মডাৰেট কৰিছে বুলি কোৱা হয় ক্লিয়াৰ uptick means a growth an uptick in something recently we had seen a word upshot that was it meant a result of something or an outcome of something. That was upshot. This is uptick. Uptick means when something grows. All right, if the graph goes up, it's an uptick. All right, কাৰণ uptick এই বস্তুটো ওপৰলৈ টিক কৰিছো it's a growth upwards. All right, তাৰ মানে কি এটা বস্তু বৃদ্ধি হৈছে ষ্টুডেন্টস বৃদ্ধি হোৱা বুজালে আমি uptick হোৱা বুলি ক'ব পাৰো clear next robust I have discussed this word in the MCQ classes as well my 5 p.m. MCQ classes so if you have joined any of my regular Monday to Saturday 5 p.m. classes, you know that this word means, robust means something which is strong, something which cannot be broken easily or damaged or destroyed easily. A robust build, something that is a robust build it means that it has been built in a very strong manner. It cannot be damaged or destroyed easily. robust বুজালে তাৰমানে আমি শক্তিশালী বুজাইছো ঠিক আছে ষ্টুডেন্টস শক্তিশালী তাৰমানে যোনটো বস্তুক পুতুককৈ ধ্বংস কৰিব নোৱাৰি বা বেয়া কৰি দিব নোৱাৰি যোনটো বস্তুক একো হানি কৰিব নোৱাৰি পুতুকে robust বস্তু এটা ঠিক আছে আলমিৰা এটা বনাইছে বুলে খুব robust ঠিক আছে হেতু তাৰমানে পুতুককৈ কোনো আহি পেলাই তলাটো ভাঙি দিব নোৱাৰে বা হেতু ভাঙি নষ্ট কৰিব নোৱাৰে ঠিক আছে সুৰক্ষিত it's robust clear শক্তিশালী বস্তু এটা overtly তাৰমানে স্পষ্টভাৱে overtly means something which is very obvious something which has been done in a very obvious fashion or in a very obvious manner you can say that it was done overtly or something which say for example let's use it in a sentence the statement he made was overtly ridiculous that means whatever he said was very obviously and very clearly silly and stupid right so the statement he made was clearly silly or ridiculous it was overtly ridiculous তাৰমানে কিবা এটা বস্তু স্পষ্টভাৱে যদি কব বিচাৰিছো আমি overtly শব্দটো ব্যৱহাৰ কৰি কব পাৰো ঠিক আছে next let's take a look at the next set of words optimistic so we had seen the word pessimistic in today's article the first word that we had taken a look at was pessimistic means is used to refer to a person who looks at things or has a negative outlook on things or life opposite word would be directly opposite would be optimistic these two are direct antonyms pessimism optimism pessimistic optimistic so optimistic means someone who is hopeful who has a positive outlook on things and on life তাৰ মানে নিৰাশাবাদী হলে pessimistic আশাবাদী হলে optimistic বুলি কম বা জুনে আশা ধৰি ৰাখি আছে বা জুনে আশাৰে বাচ্চা আছে কিবা এটা বস্তুলে বা জুনে সদায় আশাহে ৰাখে নিৰাশ হৈ না যায় ঠিক আছে তেনেকা মানুহক optimistic বুলি কয় orient means to give direction to something all right when you set your direction you have oriented yourself orientation of something means the direction of something or how something is placed in relation to its spatial surroundings all right so reorient means when something has been adjusted when the position of something has been adjusted again means again right orient means to position so if something has been positioned or aligned realigned again right if something has been oriented again or aligned again that is something has been realigned you can say it has been reoriented তাৰ মানে students reorient বুলি যেতিয়া কৈছো we are talking about যে কিবা এটা বস্তুক পুনৰ সংৰক্ষিত কৰা হৈছে ঠিক আছে তাৰ মানে সেই বস্তুটোৰ দিশ পাতি ঠিক কৰি দিয়া হৈছে পুনৰ আকৌ এবাৰ ঠিক আছে flailing this word comes from the word flail flail which is a verb and flail means when you are say for example if I'm flailing my arms this is me flailing my arms right it looks funny right that means I am basically doing something in an uncontrolled manner I have see right now I'm holding this pen this is a very precise grip and this is a very precise way to position my fingers so this pen doesn't fall off right but if I'm doing this has no meaning right I'm not even dancing exactly right I'm just moving my arms around This is me flailing my arms. When does this happen usually? When do you get to see this kind of movement? Say, for example, someone is drowning. Someone is drowning in a lake or a river. What will they do? They will try to gasp for air. And if they don't know how to swim, what will they do? They will try to raise their arms up in the air so that by some chance they can lift themselves up, right? And they will be flailing their arms, trying to survive. That is when you can use this word, right? He was drowning and flailing his arms. Clear? So, tamane ki bujaisu? Flailing boli jetia koisu, tamane kiba eta bostu yate bujaise flailing boli jetia likhise ing format. So, when we are writing this word in the ing form, in the present participle form, we are saying that means they're struggling. Just like I give you the example of the person drowning in water. They're flailing their arms and they're struggling to come up to the surface. So, when we are using the word flailing in this context, in today's article, we are talking about struggling. Alright? Tamane flailing hobdo jete ব্যবহাৰ কৰিছে students, আশা কৰিছো আপোনালোক সকলোৱে বুজি পাইছে। ফ্লেইল কৰা, এটো ফ্লেইল কৰা বুলি কয়। মই নিজৰ হাতকেইখন এতিয়া ফ্লেইল কৰি আছো। তাৰমানে এটা কোনো ধৰণৰ নিয়ন্ত্ৰণ নথকাকৈ অনিয়ন্ত্ৰিতভাৱে মই কিবা এটা যদি কাম কৰিছো, মই হেতু ক'ব পাৰো যে ফ্লেইলিং মোশনত হৈ আছে বস্তুটো। সো ইয়াতে যেটা ফ্লেইলিং কৈছে তাৰমানে মই সংগ্ৰাম কৰি আছো। যেনেকৈ মানুহজন ডুবিলে তেওঁৰ হাতকেইখন যেটা চটপটাই থাকে পানীৰ ওপৰত, তেওঁৰ হাতকেইখন ফ্লেইল কৰি আছে বুলি কয় ইংৰাজীত। ঠিক আছে, হি ইজ ফ্লেইলিং হিজ আৰ্মছ বুলি কয়। তাৰমানে তেওঁ ষ্ট্ৰাগল কৰিছে, হেতু কাৰণেটো ফ্লেইল কৰিছে। তেওঁ চেষ্টা কৰিছে উঠি আহিবলৈ পানীৰ ওপৰত সাৰফেসলৈকে আহি যাবলৈ। সো সেই সংগ্ৰামটো, সেই কষ্টটোক বুজোৱা হয় ফ্লেইলিং শব্দটো বুজায়। ঠিক আছে? নেক্সট ইম্পালসেস লৈ গৈছো। ইম্পালসেস আপোনালোকে নিজেও ফিল কৰিছে। কেতিয়াবা কিবা এটা বস্তু দেখিলে আপোনাৰ সেইটো দৰকাৰ নাই, কিন্তু দেখি আপোনাৰ কিনিব মন গ'ল, আপুনি পুতুকে কিনি দিলে নভবা নিচিন্তাকে। পিছত ভাবিলে এইটো নিকিনিলেও হ'লহেঁতেন। সেইটো কি বুলি কয়? সেইটো ইম্পালস পাৰচেজ বুলি কয়। তাৰমানে যেতিয়া আপুনি আবেগত কিবা এটা কাম কৰি দিয়ে, হেতুত যুক্তি নাথাকে, হেতুত চিন্তা নাথাকে বেছি, হেতুত আবেগহে বেছি থাকে, তেতিয়া আপুনি কয় ইম্পালস বুলি, ৰাইট? সো ইম্পালসেস মিন্স those kind of reactions that we have that don't have much logic or thought behind them. Alright, those are called impulses. Those are mostly driven by emotion, not by logic or any kind of rationale. Alright, so those are impulses. Clear? Coming to the next word. Durable. So we have taken a look at the word robust. Robust means something which is built strong. Durable is something which will last long. So kind of try to remember these two together, try to relate these two. Robust means something which has been built in a very strong manner. Something which has been built to last long will be called durable. Alright? Okay? Duragard, you have heard these kind of names, right? So you have heard the kind of there's this cement, right? And then this I think that this Duracell, there's this battery, right? Duracell. So these kind of words, it comes from the word, they're trying to it's a word play basically. They're trying to use the word durable in their names. That means they're trying to show the characteristic or advertise the characteristic that these things will last long. If you use this cement, your construction will last long. Right? If you use this battery, it will give you a long battery life, right? So therefore, durable means something that lasts long. Clear? So durable, tamane hoise dirghomyadi bostu eta, jonto bahut din cholibo, durable bostu eta. Thik ase? Czar. So this word czar refers to, see, in today's time, you won't find czars, right? Earlier in historic times, there were czars, all right? But czar today, this word czar, it's pronounced Czar, all right? The C is not pronounced, all right? The C is not pronounced. So Z-A-R, Czar. And when we are using in the plural, czars, all right? So this means someone who is in a position of importance, someone who is an individual who is of importance or who is in a position of authority, all right? Simple meaning. So yate jeta czar boli koise students, ucharon hoise czar, C to ami ucharon nokoru, aru yare ortho to hoise ejon byakti VIPs যেনেকুৱা, তেওঁ ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট পজিশ্যন এটাত আছে আৰু নতুবা তেওঁ শক্তিশালী ব্যক্তি এজন বা যোনে এনেকুৱা এটা অথৰিটিত আছে যে তেওঁ কিছু মানুহ বা এটা পৰিস্থিতিক তেওঁ নিয়ন্ত্ৰণ কৰিব পাৰে। ঠিক আছে? জার বুলি কোৱা হয় তেতিয়া। স্লাম্প। সো when we say slump, তাৰমানে কিবা এটা বস্তু যেটা হ্ৰাস পাই গৈছে, সেইটোকে আমি স্লাম্প হোৱা বুলিও ক'ব পাৰো। যে কিবা এটা বস্তু গ্ৰোথ হৈ আছিল, বৃদ্ধি হৈ আছিল, তাৰপিছত ঘপকে স্লাম্প হৈ গ'ল, তাৰমানে হি ড্ৰপ হৈ গ'ল বা হ্ৰাস পালে। ঠিক আছে? So when something is growing, students, and then suddenly falls, if the growth suddenly declines, you can call it a slump. All right? A graph is going up, 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 and then suddenly it falls down. You can call this a slump. All right? Clear? ठीक है? So হ্ৰাস পোৱাটোক আমি slump বুলিও ক'ব পাৰো। Next, these few last words we have from today's article. So there's a lot of words today, 18 words in total from today's article. So it's a very important and a very fascinating article today. There's a lot to learn from this article, right? Slack, again, we have already discussed the word slackening, right? So slack also refers to the same meaning. That means something getting loose. তাৰমানে ঢিলা হলে আমি slack বুলি কওঁ, ঠিক আছে? Dissipate, when something is dispersed, it spreads out. You can use the word dissipate. All right? Dissipation can be used for multiple things. Smoke can dissipate, all right, and clear out of an area, all right? Energies and emotions can dissipate, all right? So it can be used in multiple contexts, and we will also see how it's being used in today's article, all right? And I also encourage you to try to write a sentence of your own, or one or two, or at least more than one sentence, 2-3 sentences of your own using the word dissipate. Try to use it in different contexts. It will be an exercise. You will also be able to apply this word and your vocabulary will develop. Try to do that, all right? তাৰমানে কিবা এটা বস্তু লাহে লাহেকে যেতিয়া নাইকিয়া হয়, বিয়পি পেলাই নোহোৱা হৈ যায়, হেতুক ডিসিপেট হোৱা বুলি কয়। অসমীয়াত যদি বুজাও, কিবা এটা বস্তু ধোৱা, আপুনি ধৰি লওক ধোৱা বুলে এটা জায়গাত গুট খাইছিল, তাৰপিছত কোনোবাই খিৰিকী এখন বা দৰজাখন খুলি দিলে, ধুনীয়াকৈ সি বাহিৰলৈ বিয়পি ওলাই গৈ, তাৰপিছত ৰুমটোৰ পৰা আঁতৰি গ'ল, সি নাইকিয়া হৈ গ'ল, ৰুমৰ পৰা সেই ধোৱাখিনি নাইকিয়া হৈ গ'ল। তেতিয়া আমি সেইটো ক'ব পাৰোঁ যে স্মোক হেজ ডিসিপেটেড, তাৰমানে আঁতৰি গ'ল, ক্লিয়াৰ হৈ গ'ল জেগাটো, মুকলি হৈ গ'ল, ঠিক আছে? নেক্সট, কমপ্লেচেণ্ট। কমপ্লেচেণ্ট মানে যেতিয়া মানুহজন এক ধৰণে আপুনি ক'ব পাৰে যে আত্মতুষ্ট হৈ আছে, তাৰমানে তেওঁ গুৰুত্ব দিয়া নাই, কোনোবা এটা বস্তু যোন গুৰুত্ব দিব লাগিছিলে তেওঁ গুৰুত্ব দিয়া নাই, নেগলেক্ট কৰিছে বস্তুটো, তেওঁ কমপ্লেচেণ্ট হৈ আছে। তাৰমানে বুজি পাইছে, আপোনাৰ পৰীক্ষা আহি আছে, আপুনি পঢ়িব লাগে, আপুনি পঢ়া নাই বোলে, আপুনি ফুৰি আছে, ঘূৰি আছে, you are being complacent about your studies. Clear? So when we use the word complacent, that means someone, say for example, someone is being complacent, that means they are being, in a way you can say they are neglecting their work, right? And they are not being conscientious. Conscientious is related to being very disciplined about your work. So say for example your exams are coming up and you're not preparing for your exams, you're not studying, you're just roaming around, meeting your friends, having a fun time and not studying at all, then you are being complacent about your studies. Clear? Rebound. So when something fails or you face some kind of failure and then you come back again to try again, right? That means you have rebounded once again, all right? তাৰমানে আপুনি আকৌ এবাৰ পুনৰ উদ্ধাৰ কৰিছে, কিবা এটা বস্তু ফেইল হ'ল, বিফল হ'ল, আপুনি তাৰপিছত আকৌ চেষ্টা কৰিছে, সেইটোক আমি ৰিবাউণ্ড কৰা বুলি কওঁ। যে বিফল হ'ল কিন্তু আকৌ ৰিবাউণ্ড কৰি আহিলে, ৰিবাউণ্ড কৰিলে মানে তেওঁ আকৌ পুনৰ উদ্ধাৰ হৈ পেলাই তেওঁ আকৌ এবাৰ চেষ্টা কৰিবলৈ উঠি আহিলে, ঠিক আছে, বা আগবাঢ়ি আহিলে, ৰিবাউণ্ড হোৱা বুলি কয়, ঠিক আছে? So these are all the words from today's article. Now let's take a look at the important phrases. So there's also quite a few phrases from today's article. Before we go into the idiom section, we will take a look at these 11 phrases. Let's take a look at them. So the first phrase I want to discuss with you is because of this word, pegged at, because of this phrase. So the article has said something pegged quarter two growth at 7%. So I want you to understand that you can, instead of saying determined quarter two growth at 7%, instead of using the word determined, that it was planned that quarter two growth will be 7%. Planned or determined, instead of those words, you can use the word pegged. All right? Ascertained, planned, determined, these kind of words. You can replace it with the word pegged. Pegged the growth rate at 7%. Clear? তাৰমানে pegged বুলি যেতিয়া কৈছো students, ইয়াতে এইটোৱে বুজোৱা হৈছে নিশ্চিত কৰা হৈছে, সেই বস্তুটো নিশ্চিত কৰাটোকে আমি pegged কৰা বুলি কৈছো, ঠিক আছে? ধাৰণা এটা বনাইছে যে আমি নিশ্চিত কৰিছো বা ধাৰণা এটা বনাইছো যে 7%ত বৃদ্ধি হ'ব এবাৰ, বা 7% বৃদ্ধি দেখা পোৱা যাব, 7% আমি এটা বৃদ্ধি দেখিম। আমি হেতুক ইংৰাজীত ক'ব পাৰো যে the growth was determined at 7% or growth was planned to be 7%, এইবিলাক ক'ব পাৰো, বা আমি ইংৰাজীত এনেকৈ ক'ব পাৰো যে growth was pegged at 7%. Clear? Next, precariously poised. This is a phrase, precariously poised. See students, we have discussed the word precarious I believe earlier as well, in at least if not in the editorials, if we haven't found the word precarious in the editorials as of yet, I'm pretty sure I have discussed this in my 5 p.m. classes in some MCQ somewhere. So precarious means something which is a very dangerous situation. A precarious situation means a very, very dangerous situation. All right. A highly dangerous situation is a precarious situation. So something which, and poised means something which is positioned or something which is set up in a particular way. It is said to be poised in a particular way. So if something is precariously poised, that means it has been set up, or it has been set up in a very dangerous way, or it is in a very dangerous situation right now. It is in a very dangerous position. All right. তাৰমানে precariously poised বুলি যেতিয়া কৈছো, তাৰমানে এটা খুবেই অনিশ্চিতভাৱে সজ্জিত বস্তু এটাৰ কথা কৈছো, যে এটা বস্তু খুব অনিশ্চিতভাৱে সজ্জিত হৈ আছে, হেতু বিপদত পৰিব পাৰে পিছলৈকে গৈ, বা হেতু এটা পৰিস্থিতি বিপদজনক পৰিস্থিতি বনি যাব পাৰে পিছলৈকে গৈ, আমি ক'ব পাৰো যে this situation is precariously poised. All right? Clear? Again, this one, clocking just 6% growth. So clocking means recorded. All right, only that means the recorded growth is only 6%. That they were say for example they were expecting 12% growth, but then at the end of the period when they evaluated, they saw that growth is only 6%. So the recorded growth, the estimated growth was 12%, but the recorded growth was only 6%. So instead of saying recorded just 6% growth, you can say clocking just 6% growth, or the growth was clocked at just 6%. You can write it like that. So in today's article, we'll see a lot of these phrases where the growth percentage has been written and they have used very interesting phrasing patterns here. তাৰমানে মাত্ৰ 6% বৃদ্ধি ঘটিছে হেতুকে কবলে বৃদ্ধি হৈছে তো বা মাত্ৰ ইমানখিনি হৈছে বুলি কোৱাটোক আমি এনেকে লিখো ক্লকিং জাস্ট 6% গ্ৰোথ ঠিক আছে আপুনি ক্লকিং টু কম হোৱা ক্ষেত্ৰটো ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিব বেছি বৃদ্ধি হোৱা ক্ষেত্ৰটো ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিব যে ক্লকিং এন এস্টাউন্ডিং 30% গ্ৰোথ হেনেকেও লিখিব পাৰে ক্লকিং মানে ৰেকৰ্ডিং ঠিক আছে ক্লকিং মানে ইয়াতে এক ধৰণে আপুনি কব ৰেকৰ্ডিং ঠিক আছে ইমানখিনি তাৰ মানে ৰেকৰ্ড কৰা গৈছে accede to, this is a very important phrase that you should mark for your exams as well. Accede to, this kind of phrasal verb show up in the exams. Accede to বুলি যেতিয়া কোৱা হয়, that means আমি ক'ব বিচাৰিছো যে গ্ৰহণ কৰা হৈছে কিবা এটা বস্তু. Accede to, that means to agree to something. All right, to accede to something means you have agreed to something. Clear? ठीक है? That's the meaning here. Next, let's take a look at this. In the face of something means in a situation of something. All right, in the face of danger, that means in a dangerous situation. In the face of anger, that means in a situation where you are very angry. You can use it in those kinds of, when you're talking about situations. In that situation, instead of writing in that situation, you can write in the face of whatever situation it is. All right, in the face of danger, etc. In the face of বুলি যেটা কৈছো তাৰ মানে এটা পৰিস্থিতিৰ সময়ত কৈছো যে এই পৰিস্থিতিটোত in the face of danger, বিপদৰ পৰিস্থিতিত তাৰ মানে ঠিক আছে sought to means they wanted to or they planned to. All right, that was their wish, that is what they wanted. They sought to do something. Say for example they sought to complete the project by December, that means they wanted to complete the project by December. All right, this is a phrase which refers to wanting something. Sought to do something, that means want to do something. তাৰমানে কিবা এটা বস্তু বিচাৰিছিলে হেতুকে কৈছে sought to বুলি কোৱা হয় want to ক'ব পাৰি ইংৰাজীত বা sought to বুলিও লিখিব পাৰি অলৰাইট এটো সিম্পল ফৰ্মটো হ'ব want to যদি লিখি দিও ইয়াতে they wanted to হেতুকে লিখোতে ইয়াতে মই they sought to বুলি লিখিব পাৰো ক্লিয়াৰ perk up, when something perks up it means it has shown up or it has grown. Alright, when something perks up that means we are talking about growth or something showed up. All right, that means something came to the surface, so something perked up. All right, clear? Next, ramp up, same meaning. Perk up, ramp up, you can use this interchangeably. It means the same thing. বৃদ্ধি হোৱাটোকে বুজাও students, ঠিক আছে কিবা এটা বস্তু grow হৈছে আপুনি ক'ব it perked up or it ramped up, ঠিক আছে ramped up productions, ramped up the production, that means production has been increased. তাৰ মানে কিবা এটা ম্যানুফ্যাকচাৰিং ইউনিট এটা ধৰি লওক সিহঁতে কিবা ম্যানুফ্যাকচাৰ কৰিছে পেনটো বুলে এই পেনটো ম্যানুফ্যাকচাৰ কৰি আছে প্ৰথমতে 10 ইউনিট বনাইছিলে প্ৰত্যেক দিনে 10 ইউনিট বনায় তাৰপিছত দেখিছে যে নাই এটো ভাল সেল হৈছে তে আৰু অলপ বনাও বেছিকে বনাও production বঢ়াই দিলে যে এটো দিনত এটা 10টা নহয় 50টা বনাম so they ramped up productions to 50 units per day তাৰ মানে বৃদ্ধি কৰিলে ন হেতুকে বুজাইছো clear ঠিক আছে both of these can be used synonymously. Have caught up on, see caught up on something means something was lagging behind something else, but now whatever was lagging behind has caught up on this thing that it was lagging behind. তাৰ মানে কি কৈছো যে দুটা বস্তু ধৰি লওক A and B. Okay, let's use the yellowing, that will be far more visible. So A and B is moving ahead of A. All right, and A is lagging behind. At some point A has made some decisions that helped it to move faster, and then it has caught up on B. A and B are now running together. They are in the same position. Then you can say that A has caught up on B. ठीक है caught up to भी बोल सकते हैं. We can also use caught up to. A caught up to B. All right. ठीक है understood? ठीक है generally if it's two units or two individuals or two things that we are talking about, then we can say this caught up to this. If it's a situation where this is a person or this is a unit or this is a company or something, etc., etc., and this is a situation. B is a situation that we are talking about. Then we can say that this has caught up to this situation. Then we can say A has caught up on this situation. Then we can, then we would be better off using the phrase caught up on instead of caught up to. We'll see how it has been used in the article as well. Okay. পিছপৰি থকা বস্তু এটা যেতিয়া আৰু পিছপৰি নাথাকে তেতিয়া হেতু বস্তু কোৱা হৈ যায় it has caught up on জিতু বস্তুকে গৈ পেলাই যোনটো বস্তুৰ লগতে গৈ হি catch up কৰিলে এতিয়া wished away. If something is wished away, that means you have prayed for it to go away, or you have wanted it to go away and it has gone away. All right. So wished away, to wish away something means to want it to go away. তাৰমানে কিবা এটা বস্তু যদি আপুনি বিচাৰিছে আঁতৰি যাওক বা নোহোৱা হৈ যাওক, আপুনি তো কামনা কৰিছে, আপুনি সেইটো বস্তু wish away কৰি আছে। ঠিক আছে? wish মানে তো বুজি পাইছে কামনা, away মানে আঁতৰি যোৱা। সো কিবা এটা বস্তু আঁতৰি যোৱাটো যদি কামনা কৰিছে, wish away. Clear? Ring in. এটো আপুনি এতিয়া লাহেকে দেখা পাব। এটো আপুনি লাহেকে দেখা পাব এতিয়া কোড দেখা পাব নিউ ইয়াৰ টাইমত এটো শুনিব পাব দেখা পাব। ringing in the new year with a lot of gratitude এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আপোনালোকে ইনষ্টাগ্ৰাম পাতিতে দেখা পাব। ফেসবুক ইনষ্টাগ্ৰামত মানুহে লিখা দেখা পাব, পোষ্ট পাতি দেখা পাব। ring in মানে কি বুজায়? ring in মানে কিবা এটা বস্তু এক ধৰণে আপুনি ইন্ট্ৰোডিউস কৰা বা কিবা এটা বস্তু এনাউন্স কৰা। তাৰমানে নতুন বছৰটো আহিলে, নতুন বছৰটোক আমি আগমন জনাইছো। ঠিক আছে? আমি নতুন বছৰটো we are ringing in the new year. We are inviting the new year basically. All right? And we are ringing in the new year, or we are introducing ourselves to the new year in a way, you can say, with a lot of happiness. Let's ring in the new year with happiness. ऐसे बोल सकते हो. You can use it like that during the new year only. It's December now. 1 month later, you can use this आराम से अभी. ठीक है? Understood? So ring in means to introduce or announce something. All right? কিবা এটা বস্তু ঘোষণা কৰি দিয়া বা হেতু বস্তু পৰিচয় দিয়া. Next, today's idioms. So a lot of vocabulary in today's class, right? In today's editorial. So we have seen the words, we have seen the phrases. Now let's see the two important idioms from today's article. So these are the two idioms, switching gears and a tightrope walk. All right. So switching gears means, see, imagine a car. All right. You are driving at a slow pace. For those of you who know a little bit about driving or you drive yourself, you will know this. See, in a car, there's usually gears, right? So there's the first gear. Then there's the second gear, then there's the third gear, then there's the fourth gear, then there's the fifth gear usually, and some cars have sixth gear, but let's say there's the reverse gear. So whenever you are driving, if you're in the first gear, you will get a lot of force to move the heavy car from a position where it's not even moving to get moving, right? But you won't pick up much speed. If you want to pick up speed, now you have to switch gears. You have to change gears. You will have to shift to the second gear. Now you're picking up some more speed. Now maybe the car will go up to, say, for example, 30-40 kilometer an hour. But after that, if you want to go even faster, what will you have to do? You'll have to shift gears to the third gear now. Right? Only then will you be able to pick up more speed. Then you're picking up even more speed. You'll have to shift to fourth gear. Right? So when you switch gears, that means you're changing something. You're changing the speed of something, or you're changing the way things are getting done. You were moving at, say, for example, 10 kilometers an hour. Now you don't want to move at 10 kilometers an hour anymore because earlier maybe there was traffic and now the road is clear. Now you don't want to continue in this methodology. You want to move at a different speed. You want to change your policy. You want to change your policy to traveling at 40 kilometers per hour now. So now you have to do what? You have to switch gears. Yes? So imagine this driving scenario. Now, switching gears means what? If you use it in a metaphorical sense, because idioms are always used in metaphorical sense, never in the literal sense. So switching gears obviously means changing your plan or changing your approach to something or changing your strategy. ঠিক আছে? তাৰমানে এটা পদ্ধতি যেটা আপুনি লৈ চলি আছে আৰু সেই পদ্ধতিটো হলনি কৰিছে, হেতু কোৱা হয় switching gears বুলি ইংৰাজীত। ইডিয়ম এটা ইউজ কৰো আমি। যেনেকৈ গাড়ীৰ উদাহৰণটো মই দিলো যে আপুনি 10 কিলোমিটাৰ প্ৰতি ঘণ্টা বেগত গৈ আছিলে, তাৰপিছত আপুনি বিচাৰিছে এইটো পদ্ধতিত গৈ থাকিলে গৈ নাপাম, দেৰি হ'ব, ৰাস্তা খালী হৈছে, দবাই দিয়ক অলপমান, 60 কিলোমিটাৰ প্ৰতি ঘণ্টা স্পীডত যাওঁ, 80 কিলোমিটাৰ প্ৰতি ঘণ্টা স্পীডত যাব পাৰিম, এতিয়া ৰাস্তা একদম ফ্ৰী হাইৱেত আছোঁ আমি। তেতিয়া আপুনি কি কৰিব? আপুনি গিয়াৰ শ্বিফ্ট কৰিব, গিয়াৰ চেঞ্জ কৰিব, ইউ উইল ছুইচ গিয়াৰ্ছ। তেতিয়াহে আপোনাৰ পদ্ধতিটো সলনি হ'ল, আপুনি এটা বেলেগ স্পীডত যাব, এতিয়া আগতকৈ সোনকালে গৈ পাব, তেনেকুৱা কথা। চ' তাৰমানে পদ্ধতি সলনি কৰাটোকে ইংৰাজীত কয় ছুইচিং গিয়াৰ্ছ বুলি ইডিয়াম আকাৰে। বুজি পালে? চ' এইটো অকল গাড়ীৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত ব্যৱহাৰ নহয়, গিয়াৰ বুলি ক'লে বুলিয়ে এইটো মেটাফৰিকেল চেন্সত ইউজ হ'লে বিভিন্ন ক্ষেত্ৰত ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিব, যিকোনো ধৰণৰ আপোনাৰ এটা ষ্ট্ৰেটেজি প্লেন আপুনি সলনি কৰিছে, switching gears বুলি ক'ব পাৰি। চ' মিনিংটো হৈছে টু চেঞ্জ ষ্ট্ৰেটেজিজ এপ্ৰ'চেছ। অলৰাইট? হঠাতে যদি আপুনি এটা আপোনাৰ পদ্ধতি হলনি কৰিছে হেতু কোৱা হয় switching gears বুলি ইয়াৰে এটা বাক্য মই ইয়াতে দিছো পঢ়ি চাওক after realizing the initial marketing plan wasn't working the team decided to switch gears and focus on digital advertising so initially they were going with one marketing plan they saw it is not working then they decided to change plans to change strategies they decided to switch gears understood next one is tightrope walk so tightrope walk আপোনালোকে নিশ্চয় দেখিছে সার্কাস পাৰ্টিত যে দেখা পায় এটা হাতত লাঠি লৈ বেলেন্সৰ কাৰণে এটা একদম মিহি তাৰৰ ওপৰত যে খুজ কৰে এজন ব্যক্তিয়ে হেতু কি বুলি কয় টাইট্ৰোপ বুলি কয় হেতাল টাইট্ৰোপ ঠিক আছে আৰু সেই টাইট্ৰোপ দালত খুজ কৰাটো এটা বহুত এটা বেলেন্স আৰু বহুত নিয়ন্ত্ৰণ লগা এটা বহুত কন্ট্ৰোল লগা এটা ক্ৰিয়া এটা হয় বহুত কন্ট্ৰোলত কৰিব লাগে সেই কামটো তাৰ মানে টাইট্ৰোপ ৱাক ইজ নট এন ইজি থিং ইটস আ টাফ থিং টু ডু এটা সৰু ভুল হৈ গলে মানুহজন পৰি যাব তলে so a tightrope walk you have seen it in circus etc right even at least in a video you might have seen it somewhere a tightrope is a slim rope and a person with a stick to balance himself will walk on that tightrope and if the person has sufficient skill and focus in that moment they will not fall off the rope they will be able to go through from one side to the other but if there's one small mistake even the margin of error is very small right because it's a rope it's not a platform so if the person makes one small error he will fall off the rope he or she will fall off the rope right so a tightrope walk is a very delicate situation which requires a lot of you can say control right delicate control so therefore when we talk about a tightrope walk it means a delicate or risky situation that requires careful handling to avoid problems ta mane tightrope walk koi ki bujaisu students je eta bipodjonok poristiti jot khub habodhanotar proyojon thik ase hetuke koa hoy tightrope walk boli eta henekwa poristiti jot bahut bipod ase aru bipodtur upor basi cholibole khub habodhanotare agbahibo laibo so I have given you a sentence balancing employee demands for higher wages with the company's tight budget felt like a tightrope walk for the management so the management had to balance two things one is employees are demanding more money but for higher wages but then the company had a very tight budget how do you balance these two things it's a very delicate situation if you don't increase your salary you will lose your employees and if you increase your salary how will you make any profits or how will you run the other operations because budget is very tight so it's a tightrope walk how do you balance those two things right it needs a lot of delicate control so you can use it in these kind of sentences I've given you example sentences for better understanding try to make your own sentences with these two idioms as well clear now let us go into the reading section we have already discussed the words and phrases and idioms so I think you'll be able to understand this entire passage and this entire article very easily now there's nothing much else to it because the rest of it is just it's talking about today's article is talking about percentages and growth and decline and all that so the most important factor for today's article was the vocabulary aspect and we have gone through it all but still let us give a quick reading and try to comprehend what the passage or the article is talking about ঠিক আছে বলক so the first paragraph even the most pessimistic economic forecasters did not anticipate the sharp downturn in economic momentum reflected in the gross domestic product that is GDP estimates for the July September quarter ta mane bahut negative ke agor price side hoka kisman economist ei downturn mane decline to expected kora nasile je July September quarter juntu GDP dekha poa gol ta mane ene hole to pessimistic manu gijone koy je eibar barhat nai besi kome hobo kintu teologio jiman kom hobo boli hoisil tatkeo besi kom hoise GDP growth eibar July September quarter dot from a 5-quarter low of 6.7% in the first quarter, most independent economists expected GDP growth of 6.5% in quarter 2, citing slackening urban demand indicators such as moderating GST revenue growth and weak consumer durables and non-durable sales. So because of very weak sales in the consumer durables and non-durable segment, so most economists who were doing their own independent forecasts, they were saying that growth will not be more than 6.5% in the second quarter. All right. And why? Because they were citing these kind of reasons, the declining urban demand. All right. They were citing, they were referring to these, they were giving the reasons as these. All right. The declining urban demand and weak consumers, durables and non-durable sales. The Monetary Policy Committee, the Monetary Policy Committee, that is the MPC of the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, in its October review, pegged quarter 2 growth at 7%. Pegged the growth rate at 7%. We have discussed this in the vocabulary section, right? While RBI officials projected a 6.8% uptick, that means a growth, 6.8% uptick in an article soon after. They had submitted these articles in respectively, the MPC and the RBI. They had both given these percentages of growth. But then that the actual number came in at just 5.4%, the slowest since the third quarter of 2022-2023, with the gross value added, that is the GVA, in the economy rising at a marginally better 5.6% is therefore a significant shock. So after all of these forecasts, the fact that the growth is just 5.4% in the GDP and the gross value, that is, it is the slowest since, if you compare historically, you will see that the last time it was this low was during the third quarter of 2022-23. All right, and the slowest growth since then is in this quarter. All right, and the GVA is just at 5.6%. Not that much of a difference, right? So this is a surprising thing, and this is a significant shock to most. From a robust 8.2% GDP uptick last year it was a very strong growth. 8.2% uptick last year, right? যোৱা বছৰ তাৰমানে খুব ভাল strong growth এটা হৈছিল 8.2%. Expectations of another year of 7% plus growth in 2024-25 now appear precariously poised. The fact that we are expecting 7% plus rate of growth now seems precariously poised. Now seems like a very dangerous thing, or at least something which is not going to happen, because growth has come to 5.4% this quarter, right? If not overtly optimistic. All right, so 7+% is very overtly optimistic. And if not, it is at least very precariously poised, with the first half clocking just 6% growth. The first half has recorded only 6% of growth. Clocking means recorded. Understood? So now that you know all the words and the phrases, I think this is very easy to understand now, right? সেইটো বুজি ললো আমি গোটেই ৱৰ্ডছবোৰ ফ্ৰেজেছবোৰ আগতে, এতিয়া আৰ্টিকেলটো পঢ়ি চাওঁতে ডিফিকাল্ট ৱৰ্ডছ কেইটা আই হোপ আপোনালোকে বুজি পাইছে, আৰু গোটেই আৰ্টিকেলটোৰ ফ্ল'টো এটা কেচ কৰি কম্প্ৰিহেনশ্যনটো আপোনালোকৰ বেটাৰ হৈছে। চ' এইকাৰণে ভোকাবুলাৰীটো ভাল হ'লে কম্প্ৰিহেনশ্যনো বেটাৰ হয়। আই হোপ সেইটো বস্তু আপোনালোকে নিজে বুজি পাই গৈ আছে। Paragraph 2, the RBI's MPC, which meets again this week, would certainly have to reorient its 7.2% growth forecast. See, now that they know that it's not going to be near 7%, they need to reorient, need to readjust this. Earlier they were thinking we will get 7+% growth or near about 7%. Now it's pretty clear it won't be such a case. So they need to reorient or readjust or realign. 7.2% forecast for the year, and may find it tougher to keep its forecast on reining in inflation. Reining in means controlling. All right, reining in or meaning to say control kora. Reining in means to bring into control. কিবা এটা বস্তু নিয়ন্ত্ৰণত আনা, সেইটো reining in বুলি কয়। হা, এইটো লিখি ৰাখক। Amid recent calls from ministers. Amid মানে amid শব্দটো ব্যৱহাৰ কৰে কিবা এটা পৰিস্থিতিৰ মাজত, ঠিক আছে, সেইটো বুজাবলে। Inflation amid recent calls from ministers to cut interest rates to support flailing growth impulses. We have seen this word. Flailing means something which is not in control. Impulses means sudden reactions. Growth impulses and investments. With inflation at a 15-month high of 6.2% in October, the RBI, which is committed to wait for a durable decline. This is a phrase, committed to something. You can use it as a phrase, as a phrasal verb. Committed to something, that means you are determined to do something, or you have invested yourself in something. Committed to wait for a durable decline. Durable means a long-term thing, which will go on for long. A durable decline means a decline that will go on for long. All right? A durable decline in price rise before switching gears. Switching gears means changing strategies on rates. Is unlikely to accede to these calls just yet. Accede to means to agree. All right? Okay? So RBI is not going to accede to these calls from the ministers. All right? Whatever the ministers are demanding here to cut interest rates, etc., RBI is not going to agree to these as of now. All right? Not yet. It may at best unveil measures to ease tight liquidity conditions. Min Street. See, Min Street is talking about, it's referring to RBI. Min Street czars. Czars means the important people, the people in authority at RBI. Min Street czars have a tough tightrope walk ahead. A tough tightrope walk ahead. See, that means a very difficult situation that they have to handle with a lot of care, in a very delicate manner. They have a tough tightrope walk ahead in the face of the growth slump. In the face of, that means in the situation of the growth slump. Slump means a sharp decline. North Block officials have, however, sought to downplay the recent streak of weaker economic indicators. Streak means a continuous pattern. All right, it's called a streak. All right, when you watch cricket, if someone is hitting 6 after 6 after 6, it's a streak of sixes. All right, it's a streak of boundaries. All right, streak মানে হৈছে এটা একেলেঠাই যেতিয়া একেটা বস্তু হৈ গৈ আছে, এটোক ষ্ট্ৰিক বুলি কয়। ঠিক আছে, এজন বোলাৰে বোলে ক্ৰিকেটত এটা উইকেট ল'লে, নেক্সট বলত আৰু এটা উইকেট ল'লে, নেক্সট বলত আৰু এটা উইকেট ল'লে, হেট্ৰিকৰ ষ্ট্ৰিক এটা বুলি কয়। ইটস আ ষ্ট্ৰিক, দ্যাট ইজ আ হেট্ৰিক। ঠিক আছে, ষ্ট্ৰিক ক'লে একেলেঠাই যদি কিবা এটা বস্তু হৈ গৈ আছে। the recent streak of weaker economic indicators and turned the quarter to growth print a one-off number due to an urban demand slack that should dissipate in the months ahead. So they are also saying that this sudden growth drop that we have seen is a one-off number. That is, it's an isolated event. It has only happened this quarter. It is not related to anything else. It's just because of one particular event that happened, and that is the urban demand that has slacked, or that has gone low, which should dissipate. That means this low demand should dissipate and should disappear in the next few months, and then urban demand should rise again. That is what they are saying. Some of them are saying. While rural demand is expected to perk up, that means it is expected to grow. Etu bridhiyo boli eta akha ase rural demand. Thik ase? While rural demand is expected to perk up the economy in the second half, tamane economic to rural demand de olop uthai rakhibo second half hetu eta akha eta ase, along with a relative ramp up logote eta growth yato perk up or ramp up duitai bridhi kothai bujaise ami all about it discuss korisu. Relative ramp up in public capex that has suffered so far this year thanks to a quarter one pause due to the general election and tepid quarter two spends amid an extended monsoon. It may be too complacent. We have discussed this word complacent, right? Complacent means, that means if we are not being careful enough, we are not giving something its due, if you are not treating something with the due diligence required. All right. Okay. Understood? So, it would be too complacent to assume that urban consumption will rebound on its own. All right. Rebound. We have discussed this word, right? That it would be quite a scene of a wishful thinking scenario that we are expecting that rural demand will help us now. Rural demand will increase and keep the quarter growth running, and then urban demand will grow on its own. It will not. So it will be complacent of us to think that it will rebound on its own. All right. I think there was one extra word that I wanted to discuss here while I was reading this. Where did it go? Yes, this particular word here. Due to the general election and tepid, this word tepid. Note this down, students. This word tepid, I will add it in the PDF if it's not, I don't think it was discussed in the vocabulary section, right? But I'll add it in the PDF again. Tepid means something which does not show much enthusiasm. All right, lacking enthusiasm. So when we are saying tepid quarter two spends, that means there has not been much enthusiasm in spending from the people. And when people don't spend, what happens? It affects the GDP as well. So it is saying that the people spending is lacking enthusiasm. People are not spending very enthusiastically. Manhoe khub eta soisare ahi pelai khub eta futit poisa spend kora nai ebar. Ta mane tepid hoise spending to. Khub eta bor eta zur dekha poa joa nai manuhor spending ot ebar. Aru spending besin hole obviously GDP affect koribo janeke article to amak koise. So ei shobdotor meaning to moi aplogok vocabulary section to PDF to aji add korim. PDF to মোৰ Telegram channel to pabo aru logote amar other 24/7 or app community to pai jabo. So yes, we have discussed this sentence. Will rebound on its own and interest rates are the only constraint for growth. All right, constraint means something that is limiting something. Poor wage increases and persistent price rise have caught up on urban wallets. See, there has not been much increase in people's salaries, and prices have always been rising. So inflation is anyway going up. And this has caught up on urban wallets. That means this has caught up to people's spending ability. People cannot spend anymore like they did before, because now salaries are not increasing, but prices are increasing. Where will they spend from? So this problem has caught up to urban wallets. Urban wallets means they are referring to the wallets or the money that people in cities have. Now people in cities cannot spend as much. That is what this sentence means. Tamane yate etu kotha koise je poor wage increases. Tamane manuhor je salary wage ebilak besi bridhi hua nai, putuke bridhi nohoy, kintu price bostur dam kintu badhi ase. Etu problem itia koleki ahi kot ahi dekha dise ba hetu bostu ahi kot catch up kori loise urban wallets. Urban wallets mane urban mane sohoria, wallets mane manuhor wallet jot poisa rakhe. Tamane poisar kotha koise manuhe tamane nijor পকেটৰ পইচা এতিয়া খৰচ কৰিবলৈ ইমান সুবিধা নাই, কাৰণ সিম্পল বস্তু স্যালাৰি বঢ়া নাই কিন্তু বস্তুৰ দাম বাঢ়ি আছে। সেই প্ৰবলেমটো এতিয়া আহি ক্যাচ কৰি লৈছে ইয়ালৈকে আৰবান পপুলেশন খিনিলৈকে বা চহৰ নগৰৰ মানুহখিনিলৈকে। ঠিক আছে, আন্ডাৰস্টুড? এণ্ড দিস ক্যান নট বি উইশড away। এইটো বস্তু এনে ইচ্ছা কৰি আমি আঁতৰাই দিব নোৱাৰো বা আমি ভাবিলে আঁতৰি নাযাব। এইটো বস্তু বহুত এটা মেজৰ প্ৰবলেম, এইটো এড্ৰেছ কৰিব লাগিব প্ৰেক্টিকেল সলিউশনছৰে। The center must shed kora mane ki janeke snake nijor hapedale nijor sal erai hetu a snake sheds its skin আৰু চেণ্টাৰে তাৰমানে গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট চেণ্ট্ৰেল গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট তাৰমানে কি কৰিব লাগিব হিয়তে কি আঁতৰাব লাগিব it must shed what it must shed its all is well approach সব ঠিকে আছে বুলি কৈ থলে নহব সব ঠিকে নাই and ring in fiscal measures ring in মানে it must introduce fiscal measures all right write it as introduce fiscal measures ring in means introduce all right including cuts on fuel taxes fuel or tax কমাব লাগিব তেলৰ tax কমাব লাগিব and high GST rates কিছুমান বস্তু বহুত বেছি কমাব লাগিব হেবোৰ টু ইজ লিভিং কষ্ট যাতে মানুহৰ থকা খৰচটো জিয়াই থকা খৰচটো বাঢ়ি না যায় বহুত বাঢ়ি না যায় কমি থাকে এণ্ড ৰিভাইভ ডিমান্ড তেতিয়াহে মানুহৰ ডিমান্ডো আকৌ বাঢ়িব নহলে কেনেকৈ ডিমান্ড কৰিব মানুহ ডিমান্ড কৰিবলৈ হাক নব যদি হাতত পইচাই নাই আৰু বস্তুৰ দাম বহুত বাঢ়ি গৈছে বোলে সিম্পল প্ৰবলেম ठीक है प्राइस सप्लाई डिमांड का ही पूरा डिस्कशन है एक तरीके से हर बार हर क्वार्टर में ये डिस्कशन आता ही है जीडीपी कैसा हुआ ग्रोथ डिमांड सप्लाई प्राइस ठीक है चलो so this was the entire article today it's a very good article go through the entire article pdf में मिल जाएगा pdf में telegram group पर दी more english by Shubham Sir telegram group टुट আৰু Ada 24/7 app টো থাকিব app community join কৰিব আৰু মোৰ telegram group channel টো join কৰিব link to comment section দিয়া থাকিব these are the summaries of both the paragraphs that I have written for you you can I would suggest try to write your own summary from today's article and then refer to these paragraphs if you want to check that if there's anything else that you would like to add to what you have written from what I have written from my end. All right, do not just read this and think that, all right, summary is done. Write your own summary, and then if you feel like, all right, let me just check what Sir has also given, and if you want to add something from what I have written, or if you want to, if you see that your summary can somehow be improved or made even concise by picking some ideas from what I have written, try to do that, but don't just be satisfied that all right we have the pdf and we have the summary no summary is because of your I ask you to write a summary for your own improvement only when you write a summary of your own will you be able to guarantee that okay I am improving my comprehension aspect all right so make sure that you're writing the editorial summary on a regular basis so these were the questions from yesterday's editorial so the first one was antonym of the word leverage so antonym would be weakness because leverage means an advantage something that adds to your power and strength so those would be synonymous the antonym would be weakness A is the answer for the first question second question is which of the following is a correct synonym for the word pulverized so for the word pulverized I had discussed pulverized means when something is basically grounded and pounded right so synonym would be the word ground pulverized মানে কিবা এটা বস্তু গুড়া কৰা আমি ডিসকাস কৰিছিলো so ground to হ'ব ইয়াতে ইয়াৰে শুদ্ধ সমাৰ্থক শব্দ so these two are the correct answers A and A both options A are correct next these are the questions for today's from today's editorial try to solve these and make sure that you are focused when you're solving these because the options might trick you submit the answers in the comment section try to get this right by yourself and even if you make some mistake don't worry I will be able to correct you in the comments so make sure you're dropping your answers regularly in the comments for these practice questions from the editorials and students I upload a daily video for your daily word power where I discuss one new word every day discussing its meaning what word type it is how can you use it in a sentence in your day-to-day life and that helps you improve your vocabulary on a daily basis so make sure you're watching this short 30-40 second video that I upload on a regular basis which will be available to you in the shorts section of the Ada 24/7 Northeast YouTube channel that you're currently watching and also for the class PDF for the free PDF of the class make sure you join the telegram group link is given in the comment section and the name is English by Shubham Sir and it's also available in the Ada 24/7 app community so make sure you have the app on you at all times the app link is given in the description box below this video and regular editorial analysis is at 7:45 a.m. Monday to Saturday do not forget to watch the editorial class every single day and follow along and make sure you're improving your English skills for the exams app link as I said is available in the description box below and if you like today's session make sure you hit the like button before leaving আৰু আপোনালোকে শেয়াৰ কৰিব পাৰে সেশনটো নিজৰ fellow aspirantsৰ লগত আৰু comment sectionত জনাব আজিৰ কোৱেশ্চনৰ আনসাৰ্স কেটা সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰা নিজৰ চেনেলকে সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰিব Ada 24/7 Northeast পঢ়াৰ বাবে আড্ডা সফলৰ বাবে আড্ডা ইংৰাজীৰ বাবে Shubham Sir লগ পাম ক্লাছেছত until then take care